What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all, I'm back. Okay. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I hope you can hear me now. Let's see if I can pick up where I left off at. Um, I hope you can hear me. Somebody let me know. We got some audio. I must apologize. My technical skills are here. Jess, what's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. My technical skills are like ancient anyway. I try to do my best, but for the old guy, keeping up with all of this technology sometimes is challenging. Brother Potter, what's going on, Anthony? How you doing, man? All righty. Keep hope alive, brother. Can you hear me all right? Okay, excellent, excellent. That's good. That's good. Um, I started talking about just a little while ago. I'm gonna just ramble on a little bit while hopefully some other people pick up on this live again since I interrupted the other one. Okay, good. We're starting to see some folks coming on. Robin's back. Okay. And I was talking about, the condition of North Charleston under Mayor Summey for 25 years, how he's really built a great city, and I'm not going to take that from him. But anytime that you neglect 50% of your city, you're really not doing your job as a mayor, as an elected official. Elected officials are they're elected to serve and to protect. It's a bilateral type position to serve and to protect. And there's a service aspect. When you serve a certain portion of your city and neglect another portion, you're not fulfilling your job. And like with any other job, our elected officials work for us. I want everybody to understand that. Please understand that our elected officials work for the general public. When I win this election as your mayor, I will work for you. Okay, not for myself, not to enrich myself, not for special interest groups, not for the companies that even come here. My main priority will be to represent you as the people of the city of North Charleston and at large, because what goes on in North Charleston, what affects North Charleston affects everybody, according to Dr. King. And I kind of trust in Dr. King's words. But I wanted to touch base tonight on a few issues, beginning with a major issue that I think somebody had a problem with, and that's the fact that in 2017, when I announced that I was running, and I've consistently said it since, and many of you know me to be a man of my word. I said that if I see that I don't have a clear win in this race, I would step back. I would back out of the race and put my support behind whoever would beat Mayor Summey. Okay? Let me make this perfectly clear. I said that, and I fully stand by that. So I was in a conversation with somebody earlier this week who just happens to be supporting my opponent, Mr. Singletary. And part of the conversation, she made a statement that said, "I thought you said you were going to back out of the race if you didn't see you had a clear win." The implication in what she said was, you don't have a clear win, so why are you staying in the race when you said you would get out? That was what was implied by what she said. Well, first off, let's just make this perfectly clear. I'm not getting out of this race. I'm in this race and I'm going to win this race. And the reason why I'm not getting out of this race is for a very good reason. I said I would get out if I saw that I didn't have a clear win in this race. Well, as I look around at the support in this race that I have a clear win. My base of support is multicultural, multi-ethnic. My base of support spans decades of ages, everything from 18 to 80. My base of support, like the person that she was speaking of, that she thinks has some kind of an edge on me, who only is being supported by, let me be respectful about how I say this, some older community leaders and all of the interaction that that candidate has is with older black people, people who were and are still respected community leaders. But when you ask somebody in the 18 to 40-year-old bracket in North Charleston who they are, they say, I don't know who those people are. But you see, my support comes from those 18 to 40-year-olds. Why? Because I support 18 to 40-year-olds. I am that one who bridges the gap between the younger generation and an older generation, because I realize that my job is not to create followers, but to create leaders. And if I look to create leaders as old as I am, then those leaders are going to die off. I need to make sure that we have new leaders, new Jack leaders, who are ready to take up the mantle and fight for the cause of our community in the same way that I have. And so my support, the support that I have for the community, is with a lot of young folks. And guess what? For those who might not believe it and might want to support the other person, I got a lot of support out there. A lot of support with the people my opponent will never be able to reach because he doesn't connect with them. Be it people of other ethnic persuasions, be it younger people, be it people in the LGBTQ community. I have a rapport. I have a relationship with these people. Why? Because over the years, they've learned to trust me. They know that I'm not in here trying to be judgmental, and so my exposure to those outside of my ethnicity and my age bracket gives me a distinct edge over anybody else that's in this race, right along with the work that I've done in the community. Let the works I've done speak for me. So I just wanted to clarify that for my friend, I don't know whether she's watching or not, who made that statement implying that I needed to back out because I don't have a clear win. No, I think that people in Mr. Singletary's camp need to take a really good look at the real North Charleston and the real people who are supporting Dixon for mayor. The real people, not just older folks, not just black folks, but all folks. And let me just say this. For anybody that's running for office, and the only thing that only demographic that you can say support you are people that look like you, then you really don't need to be in office anyway. Because public service involves serving the public. And the public is multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-denominational, people that don't necessarily think like you, political party, apolitical party. They're atheists and agnostics, Christian, Jew, Muslim. Every denomination, every color under the world you have under your elected position to serve. So when you run a campaign seeking to fill a public position, I think that the best way to run that campaign is to make sure that that campaign is all inclusive of everyone. That's what the people ought to expect, and that's what the people really ought to demand of those who are running for office. And if we have anybody that's playing the race card, man, do we need that? Look at the White House. And if we have any Trump supporters on this live, well, God bless you. I respect your right to think any kind of way that you want to. But as for me and my household, we ain't down with Donald Trump and his white supremacy and his support of white supremacism. Nope, not at all. Okay? But everybody teach his own. To each his own. Till you be your way and to me be mine. Okay? So we need to make sure that we're getting people elected to public service who are public servants. And that's going to move on to my next area of conversation. If there's anybody got any questions about this whole conversation, please feel free to, it's hard for me to keep track of like watching the questions and stuff as they pop up here, but inbox me. Holla at your boy. I'll gladly talk about them. And I've got a couple of events that's coming up soon. You can come visit and ask the questions. I'm good with that. I ain't trying to hide nothing from nobody, for sure. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. And when you do stuff in the closet, that ain't of the people. That's of yourself. So that ain't what I do. But no, it was a great transition to another issue that came up earlier this week. And, a couple of people had asked me about, it was like, well, we don't really know anything about you or whatever, which I don't really understand that. It seems like when folk get in trouble, they ain't got no problem finding me. All of my social media pages have my cell phone number on them. Okay, my actual cell phone number's on all of my social media pages. Anybody wants to reach out for me, they can go to social media and find out what my cell number is. And by the way, once I win this election and become mayor, I'm going to keep that cell phone number. Okay, you can reach out and call the mayor. That's right. I'll be more discriminatory about who I listen to, about what I'll listen to, though. And please don't call after 11 o'clock unless it's an absolute emergency. After 11 p.m. for me is an emergency phone call situation. Okay. And that's been that way for a long time. But I recently responded on a thread where folks were wondering about North Charleston's mayoral candidates, okay, and why they should vote for them or vote for any of us, okay. And I responded that, if you really want to know me, if you really know about Pastor Thomas Dixon, there's a few things that you can do. And I'm just going to let everybody know, here's those things you can do if you're really interested in knowing me before you go to cast your vote for me. I'm not asking anybody to cast your vote just because I'm talking to you. No, that's not what we do when we go for a job. When you go for a job, you fill out an application. They take the application, they read over it, they make some checks on it, they make some calls on it, they find out if what you're talking about is valid and everything before you even get called in. If it's a resume, they read over the resume, they follow up on it, they see if it's valid, what you're talking about on the resume, to just see if you're qualified for the position. Now, let me just say, anybody that's got a blank application for a job, you're not going to get hired. And if you've got a resume that doesn't say anything about what you're trying to get hired for, you're not going to get hired. So I'm talking about you actually without having a resume that will tell you exactly what I've been about for years. There are several methods that you can use, and I would suggest that everybody that's listening use those methods, please. First off, if you really want to learn about me, you can check my website, Dixon, Dixon, the number 4, mayor, mayor.com, DixonForMayor.com. Go to the website, please. It's not no soft sell website where you got a couple of words and carrying on that might give you an idea of what the candidate stands for. No, my website is extensive. It reads like a book. And unfortunately, I know there are those who don't want to read a book, but that's all right. Go there anyway, because there are other methods that you can actually learn about me. Okay, but the first step I would encourage anybody, go to my website, www.dixon4mayor, mayor.com, and read up on me. There's all of the different areas of my platform sitting right there. There's some links to videos and things like that. Oh, and speaking of videos, there's also another way that you can really find out about me and what I've been doing. Google me. Google Pastor Thomas Dixon. Please include the word pastor on there, or you're going to get this Ku Klux Klan guy from the early 19th century or early 20th century. But please Google me. Google me. Look at the articles that are there. Look at the work I've done out in the community. Look how you see me on the streets dealing with the fight for 15, trying to get living wages. How I've been on the streets trying to keep people from getting killed out here. How I've been in the school boards fighting for our quality public education for our children. Please, Google me. Google me. So you can check my website And you can Google me. Those are a couple of ways to learn about me. There's another way that anybody that's on social media, on Facebook in particular, can really take a look at the body of work that I've been doing. This wasn't intentional, but if you go to my personal page, the Thomas Dixon page, Thomas Dixon page, okay, go there and look at my photo albums. Click on photos and then click on albums. And when you get there, you're going to see over 300 albums, 300 plus albums, photo albums of different events and things that I have organized, marches, rallies, dealing with everything, every social justice issue you can think about. Everything from immigration to just plain old peace. Everything. There are photos right there. Over 300 of them. So when you stop and you wonder, well, I don't know anything about Pastor Dixon. Well, if you take a look at those photos, it'll give you a good idea of the activism, not passivism, activism that I've done over the years and I've tried to do in order to make life better for our community. Okay, over 300 plus ways to let your heart be at ease about me as a mayor that's going to work for you. Okay. And also, okay, so we had check the website, Google Pastor Thomas Dixon, or you can actually go to my Facebook page and look at the photo albums that are there. Scroll down through them. Everything that you want to see is right there to make you understand this brother here has been fighting for us for a long time. And then there's a fourth way that you, and I really would encourage anybody, inbox me and set up a time when we can meet. I don't have any problem sitting down talking to anybody, answering your questions. You got questions? No problem. Holler at your boy. I'll meet you for, I'll sit down. I don't drink no liquor, nothing like that, no beer, nothing like that. But if you want to sit down over coffee, tea, or root beer soda, root beer float, man, let's do that. Let's chop it up like that, okay? And any questions you might have, I really don't have any problem with doing that, There's a scripture that folks like to throw around, and I know everybody on here is not religious, okay, and that's okay. I'm good with that. But there's a scripture that folks like to throw around a lot, Christians and non-Christians alike. It talks about faith. It says that faith without works is dead. Okay, there's a lot of Christians that talk, okay, and that's great. I don't have any problem with that. But there's a verse that's actually in the book of James, chapter 2, the 20th verse in chapter 2 of the book of James. 2 verses before that, in verse 18, James makes a statement that really it defines me when it comes to any one of the other candidates that's running for office right now. James, after saying in verse 20 that faith without works is dead, he follows that in verse 8. Before that, he wrote in verse 18, he said, "Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works." You see, the proof has got to be in the pudding, okay? We cannot go around talking about what we're going to do or what is going to happen and all of that when you got nothing when you got no resume. When you come to the table and you say, yes, elect me, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do the other, when for years prior to that, like Stevie Wonder wrote in his song, you haven't done nothing. That's the kind of resume that Donald Trump brought to the table as president. He had no resume whatsoever of public service. Got elected, and look where we're at right now. See, I'll tell anybody in a minute, and I don't mean this in any mean way or anything like that. Voting for someone who you've never seen do anything in your community, who doesn't have a resume, is like buying a scratch-off ticket. You never know what you're going to get. You scratch that thing and you're done. You're done. You put all of your bucks on this scratch-off, And in the end, you got nothing. You see, we need to vote for people. We need to stand with and support people who have a proven track record of service. People who have looked at a community and decided, I'm going to do everything I can to make my community better. And it's ironic for me as a Cumya. Yes, I was not born in North Charleston. I'm not a native of Liberty Hill or Murray Hill or any of the other places here in North Charleston. I came from the projects of Chicago, born and raised, but I've been here since 1986, so that should count for a little something. My adult daughter just made 30 years old, and she was born here, okay? But anytime that somebody who wasn't born here comes here and outworks those that was born here, we got a problem. We got a problem when it comes to serving the community. So I'm just putting it out there. We need to stop and we need to reevaluate, to evaluate your position, to know that if you're going to support somebody that you can believe in, somebody who has proven how much they care, not by their words, but by their works. Okay, again, James chapter 2, verse 18. Show me your faith without your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. Let the works I've done speak for me. Anybody, you can Google me, you can look at my website, you can look at my photo albums that are there, and I'll sit down and talk with anybody. So there's like a 4-step program that I'm offering, okay, for anybody that really wants to learn about Pastor Dixon. Again, check my website, www.dixonformayor.com. That's a number 4, and then mayor, DIXON, number 4, mayor, MAYOR.com. You can Google Pastor Thomas Dixon. Please put pastor in there, okay, so we don't have any confusion with the KKK. I ain't that guy, okay. You can go to my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, Thomas Dixon, and click on photos. And when you click on photos, open up the albums, and you can see the over 300 plus albums that clearly document the work I've been doing over the years. Okay. The Google is going to be great too, because you're going to see all type of news articles and everything that pop up about the work I've tried to do here in the Low Country. 4th, you can set a time where I will meet you and talk to you and answer your questions. I have no problem with that. So, why not? Why not? I would love to chat with any of you about any of the issues that we face in North Charleston and share what I think is the pathway forward, okay? But then I want to add a 5th step too that should clear up a lot of questions as to where I stand in comparison to the other candidates, okay? How does Pastor Dixon stack up against the other candidates? So, how do you know that? After you go through steps 1 through 4 that I've just outlined, I want you to do the same thing for the others who are asking for your vote for mayor of North Charleston. Do the exact same thing. Check their website, Google their names, go to their Facebook page and look for some kind of indication of the work that they've put in. And then after that, set up a time to even meet with them if you want, and ask them specifically, what have you done to deserve my vote? It's just that simple. That's step 5. If you really want to know the difference between me and anybody else in this race, do the things I said as far as researching me. Please research me. Don't just believe me. Research me. I encourage that. But if you want to know what sets me apart from the others in this field, in this race, do the same thing. Research them. Check their websites. Google their names. Go to their personal page and look over them for any kind of indication of the community work they've done. Except for the mayor. Let me just back out. The incumbent mayor, watch out for the deceptions, okay? There's some trickery going on those pages, okay? But the others, they got that, there's nothing there. There's some good people running for mayor of North Charleston. Good people. But there's an old phrase, and I'm going to say this lovingly: the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We need workers, fighters for the people in public service, especially in a city like North Charleston, where we have nearly 50% African Americans and another 12% Latino. And the rest of the city is thriving without them after a mayor that's been in office for 25 years. If he was going to do something to help, he would have been and did something to help. So I'm asking for your support, for your votes and everything. The election is November the 5th. If you're registered right now, you cannot register now. It's too late. I've been putting the word out for a long time. It's too late. But if you are registered, you can vote absentee voting. Go to scvotes.org and look under absentee, and you'll see a list of reasons why you can absentee vote. If you qualify, you can vote before November the 5th, up until 5 o'clock the day before. November 5th. November 5th is the actual election day. That's the day you got to get to the poll. And folks, we need everybody to go to the polls. Let me just say this, okay, and as I come to a close. It's time for Dixon for mayor people to get fired up about this. It's time for you to get loud. It's time for you to get vocal about getting people to vote, to go out and vote, and to vote for Pastor Dixon. It's time for you to make some noise. It's time to please share all of the things that I'm posting up. Share the events. I'm going to talk about the events briefly before I close that we've got coming up. Share, talk about it. Tell folks that Pastor Dixon is the truth. If you don't believe him, Google him. If you don't believe him, go to his website. If you don't believe him, look at the photos on his page. Whatever it takes in order to get. We need people to get out. We don't need a mediocre turnout for this election. We need an overwhelming turnout for this election, in particular, all those who are right-thinking people, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of age, regardless of your social status, economic status. We need folks to get out, and you can come out and vote for me because you can believe in what I say, because the proof is here for you. My resume speaks for itself. Let the works I've done speak for me. It's something that nobody else in this race can say. So, please get loud. Get loud. Share stuff. Share the stuff that I have posted up, that I post up. Please. Ask your friends, especially if they're voting, registered to vote. When are you going to vote? Have you voted? Don't you know that Pastor Dixon, that guy with that red scarf that says enough, that's been fighting for you all this time, you know he's running for mayor? Go tell him. Tell people, please. And make sure that folks are going to the poll. In 2015, we had 54,000 registered voters. Only 12,000 people voted. That's ridiculous. Mayor Summey won. He had 6,000 votes. Okay. The other three candidates split the other 6,000. Okay. So no matter which way it goes, we talk about splitting votes. None of them had enough votes to win the election anyway. Period. Somebody beat them. Just that simple. This time that's not going to happen. We're going to win by a landslide victory, Dixon for mayor 2019. And we're going to usher in a new North Charleston, a new vision for North Charleston, where each and every person in North Charleston is going to be included in the growth and the prosperity and in the American dream that we should have been included in all along up under this current mayor. Mayor, some of your time is up. I hate to say that and put it that way, but my good friend Mujahideen told you that sitting in city council to your face. Time is up. It's time for change. So, what's going on? Okay, Tuesday night, I'm going to be with Ricardo Lewis, okay? Two Clippers. Shout out to Ricardo at Luciano's Barbershop over on Ashley Phosphate on Tuesday night. I think his Bubba, Rajan Lewis from Real Talk with Rajan is going to be actually moderating the discussion. But we got space for quite a few people, but I'd really appreciate it if you all would just leave an inbox message on the Dixon for Mayor North Charleston 2019. Dixon for Mayor 2019 North Charleston Facebook page. Send a message there that you want to come so I can get your name on the list there. Just want to make sure that everybody comes out for it. On the 22nd of this month, we're going to be at Faden Santana's barbershop up on, I'll post the addresses soon, up on Remount Road. Faden is the guy that took the Walter Scott video and is definitely a supporter of Dixon for Mayor, as is the Scott family. They are supporters of mine. But I'll be at his barbershop and talking to my Latino brothers and sisters. Man, today, if you didn't go out to the Latin American Festival over Wanamaker Park, you really missed something. It was really, really a wonderful occasion. You know, our Latino brothers and sisters, man, they did it. They did the thing out there. Music, food, fun, family, just the whole nine. Just some great folks. I really enjoyed myself. Had to leave from there and get ready to head over to Charity Missionary Baptist Church, where they celebrated the Reverend Jesse Jackson's 78th birthday today, which was really another amazing event. To hear the Reverend Jackson, who's suffering severely from Parkinson's disease, but he's, like he says, Parkinson's ain't got me. His mind is still crisp, and his delivery is just amazing. Yeah, those are the events. Please plug in. I'll have them posted on my page. We've got a forum coming up at North Charleston City Hall on this Wednesday. I think it starts at 6 p.m. I'll post up that information so that anybody, please, when I say about get loud and everything, that's a place where I want people to come on out and get loud. Show support. It's time for us to understand what Dr. King called the fierce urgency of now. Listen, if we don't make this change in this election cycle, or if we elect somebody that we don't know will really work for us, man, we're putting our future and the future of our children at risk. Over time, we're going to be eliminated from North Charleston. And we can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. So Wednesday will be a mayoral candidate forum. I think Mayor Summey and this is the League of Women Voters that's having this, along with someone else. And I don't believe that Mayor Summey's going to be there, but myself and the other three candidates will be there. On the 29th, there'll be another forum. Brought to you by I can't remember the sorority, but it's one of our sororities is hosting a forum on the 29th, and it's going to be at North Charleston City Hall also. So, and then there's going to be some other things. We've got something going on right before the 2 days before the election out at Chucktown Seafood with my good friends Donna and Chef Kevin Green. Man, shout out to them. And if you really want to get some good eats, man, please, when you come to seafood, man, at the right price, man, Chucktown Seafood up Dorchester Road. Go holler at Kevin and Donna. And Shamiki in the kitchen. Show you right. Show you right. But we're going to be doing something at Scott's Grand, too. And we're going to try to pull something off at Exquis. So, listen, everybody, stay plugged in. Tell the 18 to 40-year-olds, please, to get on board. It's time. We need them to vote. We need them to vote. All of 18 to 40-year-olds and 40 to 80-year-olds. We need everybody to vote in this election. If we do that, this will be an unprecedented march to the ballot box. Something that has not been seen in North Charleston since its inception, and something that has not been seen in South Carolina since the Civil Rights Movement. Please, I'm begging you, every one of you, not specifically for your vote, even though I want you to vote for Dixon for mayor, but go to the polls November 5th of this year and cast your vote. Stand up. Straighten out your back. A man can't ride your back unless it's bent. Straighten out your backs. Go to the polls. Quit making excuses about voting don't work. That's why I don't vote. Well, we've tried that method and we still haven't gotten no better. So it's been a long time since we tried the other side. Let's try voting this time. And I guarantee you, you elect me mayor of North Charleston, within the next year to year and a half, you're going to stop and say, man, we didn't know we could have it this good. This is Pastor Dixon. I appreciate everybody that jumped on tonight. You all are amazing. Please share this out with everybody on your networks. And please begin telling people around you in your social networks. It's time for us to do the do when it comes to voting. It's time for us to get loud about this campaign, the Dixon for Mayor campaign, and it's time for us to upset a long-standing regime in North Charleston and elect somebody that you know is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that's Pastor Thomas Dixon. Listen, y'all take care. I love y'all. Be safe out there. And I'll holler again probably, let's see. We'll probably do live then from Ricardo's, from Luciano's with Ricardo Lewis and Rajan Lewis. We should be doing a Facebook Live there. You got questions ahead of time, make sure you inbox me. Holler at your boy. Because I'm going to holler for y'all. Y'all take care. I love y'all, man. Peace.